Oh. A Yorkshire Childhood, Chapter 61, entitled Tom Wakes Up. Josh was shocked and amazed. It was one thing giving her housekeeping money, but this was dodgy. We have to do something, said Josh. Tom agreed. He admitted he had been lonely, but things had gone too far. Tom went back to polishing his mini, but he didn't look happy. It was obvious he was under stress. They had to do something. Josh went back to his hedge trimming and waited for her return. It took her a few hours. She had been very busy, and she came back laden with bulging bags. They weren't laden with food. They were full of clothes and skirts and hats and shoes of all shapes, sizes, and colours. She looked like she was going on a major vacation, thought Josh. Tom came out of his garage and wiped his oily hands on a rag. He meant business. What's this? He said, surprised. We're not going to Ascot, are we? He added sarcastically. She was taken aback by his directness. I just thought I'd treat myself, she said, and pretended to look guilty. What about food? Said Tom, looking uncharacteristically annoyed. We need food, not clothing, he added. This was the moment she turned from a mild-mannered woman to a whirlwind. She reached into her bag, grabbed a pair of expensive shoes, and threw them at him. Luckily, he ducked. Then she threw a hat at him, but it wasn't much of a weapon. Josh carried on chopping at the branches. He couldn't stop watching and smiling. He saw her storm into the house. Then they heard the clattering and banging sound of things being thrown and smashed. Tom wiped his fingers and waited patiently. Then the front door was thrown open. She was walking towards them with an angry look on her face. Her face was as red as a fire engine, and the veins on her forehead were bulging as if ready to explode. She walked up to Tom and jabbed her finger into his chest. Stuff you, she shouted, and your odd son. Then she turned on her heels and walked down the lane, taking her carrier bags laden with clothes with her. It was like a whirlwind had landed, then spun off down the lane, leaving only leaves hanging in the air. Tom and Josh looked at each other, and then Tom winked, and they burst out laughing. Josh threw down his clippers. Time for a cup of tea, said Tom, and they walked back into the house happily.